Welcome to my next Lucifer related video. As many of you know, I recently completed reviewing all the episodes of Lucifer, watching the show for the first time, thanks to the recommendation by the legendary Crazy Coffee Man. And then recently I also ranked all the seasons of Lucifer from my least favorite season to my favorite season. And now what I'm going to be doing is ranking the characters on Lucifer, specifically my top 10 favorite characters from the show Lucifer. Before I get into all that, though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching Lucifer, which is every single episode of Lucifer, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that's the case, you find out that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And of course, this goes without saying, but this is my personal opinion. We might not all have the same list, that's for sure. And I want to thank the legendary Crazy Coffee Man for the recommendation of the show Lucifer. I don't know how many more Lucifer videos I'll do. This might be it for a while, but who knows? Maybe the show will be brought back. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Interact with me and the legendary Crazy Coffee Man. So with all that said, here's going to be my top 10 favorite characters from the show Lucifer, and coming in 10th place, for me at least, is going to be Maze, otherwise known as Mazikeen. Maze kind of was the villain on Lucifer at times, but then she turned into a person with a soul and a very good character. And I was actually, during the final season of Lucifer, watching her on the show The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, and it was just cool seeing her in a different role at the same time as I'm watching Lucifer for the same time. So Maze, some would probably put her a lot higher. There's times where I thought that Maze was kind of annoying, but that's just me. We all have our own opinions, so Maze is going to be my number 10. In 9th place, I'm going to go with Daniel the Douche Espinosa, otherwise known as Dan. I found that Dan was kind of a dumb character at times on the show, did dumb things, really wasn't really important initially, crooked cop, but he obviously got better. There's just other characters on the show that I like a lot more. He becomes kind of the heart and soul of the show at times, and then it's just, spoiler alert, it's heartbreaking when he dies and Trixie confronts Lucifer about it, and he has to tell her, like, yeah, your dad's dead. Not in those exact words, but it's Dan's a good character. It's unfortunate that he left, but I just feel like he wasn't as important to, you knew Lucifer and Chloe were like the main individuals on the show. But anyway, some would probably put Dan higher. I've got him low, but I'm just weird. So Dan Espinosa, Detective Douche, is my number 9. In 8th place, I'm going to go with Trixie, otherwise known as Beatrice Espinosa. Unfortunately, Trixie's not in the show a lot. She gets sprinkled in here and there, but I feel like she's a really good character, and her acting in the scene where she asks Lucifer if her dad is dead because Lucifer can't lie is just heartbreaking. But she's funny. She liked Lucifer from the beginning, where it kind of took other people time to get used to him. And yeah, Trixie's a great character. I wish they would have used her more, but I'm a little upset that Trixie wasn't with her mother on her deathbed. That's a little shocking to me, but it is what it is. Trixie is my number 8. And I'm sure people would probably put her higher. Maybe not, though. My number 7, I'm sure everybody's going to have in the top 3. I found this character at times to be a little annoying and repeating the same stuff, like not really advancing the story when it should have advanced. And my number 7 is going to be Chloe Decker. I like Chloe a lot, but I feel like it's more of a writing thing with the writers. Oh, we got to stall this relationship because we want to make it last for so long. But Chloe, good character, at times can be a little annoying, in my opinion. Obviously, she does end up with Lucifer, kind of. Lucifer has to go away for a long time. Chloe has to die, and then Chloe ends up in hell eventually with Lucifer, and that's touching. So she got better towards the end. I feel like the first couple seasons that's when I had my biggest problem with Chloe, and then of course at the end of season 3 when she finds out that it is true, Lucifer is the devil, that's when I started liking Chloe Decker a lot. So Chloe Decker, unfortunately, comes in at number 7, and I know that'll probably get me canceled for that one. And I should mention, actually, with this list, my number 7 through 4 are kind of interchangeable. Now, I don't know when I'll watch the show again. I'm sure I will. Those characters could all flip-flop, so I guess I should have mentioned that beforehand. But my number 6, which at one point I had at my number 4, but I made a last-minute change, well, a couple days ago, and that would be Marcus Pierce, otherwise known as Kane. Tom Welling from Smallville is on it. I think he was a really good character. He was the lieutenant of the precinct, and I really enjoyed what he brought to the show. It was a different dynamic, having somebody else as like a alpha male. Well, he got a Menadil, but Lucifer essentially in competition with Marcus Pierce. And I really like Marcus Pierce, and I really wish they would have kept him on the show longer or had him get sprinkled in sporadically, in other seasons, like season 4, season 5, season 6. But I guess the whole plot is he wanted to die but wasn't able to, and Lucifer found a way to make that happen. But I wish the show would have ended with Lucifer talking to him, and you can have Lamech and also Reese on that couch instead of that random person that we don't know who really is. If somebody knows, please let me know. But Marcus Pierce, otherwise known as Kane, is my number 6. Again, 7 through 4, kind of interchangeable. I know who my top 3 are, but 7 through 4 are the ones that I'm like, well, they could go here this day, they could go here this day. So my number 5 is going to be Dr. Linda Martin. A really good character on the show, and initially Lucifer is in a sexual relationship. You give me my therapy, and I'll give you some pleasure. And of course, that ended after a few visits to Linda Martin. But Linda's a very good character. I know her, Rachel Harris from The Hangover, where she was the wife of the Stu character, and kind of a bitch in the movie. And she's completely opposite from what I hear, like on sets and stuff. But I liked Linda Martin. I like the fact that she tried to write a book at the end. That was pretty cool. She's the first regular person that knew who Lucifer was, so that's also pretty awesome. And I like Linda Martin a lot. I think, on any given day, I could say she's my number 4. I don't know if she'd make the top 3, though. But Linda Martin, Dr. Linda Martin, is going to be my number 4. No, I'm sorry, my number 5. Coming in 4th place, which I initially had Marcus Pierce in 4th, but then I switched it up because this person was involved with the show a hell of a lot more than Marcus Pierce. And, of course, I'm talking about Amenadiel. Menadil, kind of a villain, was trying to get rid of Lucifer with the help of Malcolm, and then he became a good guy, and eventually he becomes a Menagod, or God, or the power, whatever you want to call him. But Menadil, pretty awesome character. He learned some lessons through the show, Lucifer, especially with the episodes with that kid that he took a liking to, and his name escapes me, and I just read that or looked at that stuff, but oh well, it is what it is. Amenadiel, really good character, the brother of Lucifer, and he was pretty solid. And actually, I watched him on another show while I was watching Lucifer. He makes an appearance in the show The Night Agent on Netflix, which is kind of like a political thriller, and I was really into that show a lot, actually. And it has been renewed for a second season, so I'm looking forward to seeing season 2 of The Night Agent, which season 1 had the character of Amenadiel in it, or had the actor that plays Amenadiel in it. So Amenadiel, my number 4. Now I'm sure, if you know me, and I'm sure Crazy Coffee Man, while he's watching / listening to this video, probably already knew who my top 3 would be, just in what particular order they would be in. And I hemmed and hawed over this a lot. So my number 3 is going to be Ella Lopez, otherwise known in her previous life as Jamie Bautista, a nanny character on Dexter, and then she changes her profession to go on the show Lucifer, and she's taught forensic science by Dexter Morgan at some point. Not true, or maybe it is, but Ella Lopez, really good character on the show. She added a lot of comedy. Her hugs are great. I really enjoyed the storyline with her and Pete. Him being eventually we find out that he's a serial killer, and he took a liking to Ella Lopez, and I thought that was actually really good. I really enjoyed that arc on the show. And then she like puts all the pieces together in the end, and is mad that nobody informed her of it when she kind of knew about it, but had to figure it out for herself when everybody else knew like what Lucifer really was, even though he'd been telling people since day one that he was the devil. So Ella Lopez, Miss Lopez is my number 3. You probably knew that. You just didn't know who number 2 and number 1, or which order they would be in. I hemmed and hawed over this one. I honestly wanted to do it the opposite way, but I just can't justify changing it the opposite way. So my number 2 is going to be the character of Eve. Now, Eve, not on the show a lot. She's a big focal point in Season 4, a limited role in Season 5, and sporadic appearances in Season 6. But I really like the character of Eve. She added like some kind of like the character, and she's not the same as this character, but it kind of reminds me of the character Lila in Season 2 of Dexter. Love my Dexter references, and I'm sure the legendary Crazy Kaufman does too. It added something to the show. It added another dynamic, and I thought that Eve was a great character to add to the show to make things a hell of a lot more interesting than what they were. It's unfortunate that we don't really see a lot of her in Season 5. She doesn't come in until the end. I can't remember what episode it was, but it's like 8 episodes in or something like that. And then she finally comes back, and her and Maze eventually rekindle their romance. And spoiler alert, well, there's been spoilers already. They get married, which I kind of would have preferred that Lucifer actually fall in love with Eve, because it seemed like they had more fun together, where Chloe, there's always this drama and always this... Chloe Decker reminds me of Rita on Dexter, with the relationship between Rita and Dexter. That's what that kind of reminds me of. Not sure, but that's kind of where that comes from. Like, she's kind of annoying sometimes, but it is what it is. Eve is going to be my number 2. And obviously, I wanted to put Eve number 1 because I really liked her on the show. Of course, Season 4 with her, a big focal point of the season, is my favorite season. And my number 1, I can't justify not putting Lucifer Morningstar as my number 1. Tom Ellis does a phenomenal job. Even the episodes that I'm annoyed with all the singing and dancing and cartoon episode. Well, the cartoon episode wasn't that bad, but the 1930-40 episode or whatever it was, the bonus episode, or I can't remember what is which, but withstanding all that, he did a phenomenal job as this character, Lucifer Morningstar. A believable portrayal of this character, Lucifer Morningstar, and I really liked the adaptation that, well, it's not really an adaptation, but how he is presented on the show, and, you know, the things that he does, the things he gets away with. It's great. He does a phenomenal job, and I would love to see this show come back. I'm sure there's some sort of loop that they can do where everything gets reset to a certain time or something like that, where they're all alive again. I'm sure there's somebody thinking up something so they can bring back everybody, including Detective Douche and maybe even Rory back on the show, which I actually had Rory in my top 10 and then realized, wait a minute, I forgot about Maze. So that was tempting to keep Rory. Although I didn't like Rory at first, but she grew on me a little bit. So Lucifer Morningstar, an awesome character. Very, very similar in ways to Dexter Morgan. I do believe, and I agree with Crazy Coffin Man's thoughts of this show. Is very similar to Dexter in terms of the things that happen and the tone of the show. So Lucifer Morningstar, what did you really think he wouldn't be number 1? Although Eve was very close to being my Morningstar, or my number 1. So hello, detectives. Hope you all enjoyed it. Again, my personal opinion. Let's recap things in case you weren't paying attention. Maze, number 10. Dan, the douche. Espinoza, number 9. Trixie, number 8. Chloe, number 7. Marcus Pierce, otherwise known as Kane, number 6. Linda Martin, number 5. Amenadiel, number 4. Number 3, Ella Lopez. Number 2, Eve. Number 1, Lucifer. As far as other characters that didn't make the list, Charlotte Richards, or Goddess, well, I would do them separately. Charlotte Richards, I didn't really get into her as much. She wasn't on the show enough. And there's, who do I take off if I put Charlotte Richards on this list? I already talked about Rory. Didn't like her at first, but she kind of grew on me. Father Kinley, I thought he was a very good villain, but then he fell off. Like, he was just kind of, okay, you're done. And if he would have like been the big threat and not the Celestials that came, I think Father Kinley might have had a chance to crack the list. Maybe Trixie doesn't deserve to be on the list. Douche, I don't know. He should have been on the list in my opinion either. I didn't really like him all the time on the show, but it is what it is. Michael, I feel like that's Lucifer, so, I mean, it is the same person, so I didn't include him. And then they didn't really have a lot of other characters on the show. Like, it kind of kept the same characters for the most part, other than somebody that has a couple episodes here and there. So, Candy Morningstar, liked Candy Morningstar, thought about putting her, but who do I take off? So, there's kind of my thoughts on that. You've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn if you're a fan of Lucifer and you want to help me out with this YouTube algorithm. Please, please, oh please, don't forget to Hulk smash the like button. Keep in mind, I just don't talk about Lucifer on this channel. I cover a lot of shit, probably too much shit. People talk about, you have to have a niche. I have a niche of things that I like to talk about, and I want to talk about every single thing. So if you look at my playlists, I do UFC live fight reactions. I do end of the year movie ranking videos, end of the year TV show ranking videos, assuming I watch a lot of TV shows, which right now it's been 2, and one of them I didn't even finish because I was too done with it. Dexter stuff, Walking Dead stuff, Big Bang Theory, Shameless, Breaking Bad, Lost, Cobra Kai. I think, and I'm not 100% sure, that I'll be covering the show From, because there's a new season coming out this fall. So I might start that pretty soon here, which I'm recording this video on May 12th. And it probably won't air until like June something, June 12th, June 11th. So keep that in mind. Share this video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section and share your thoughts with me and the legendary Crazy Coffee Man. Let us know what you think. Let us know your favorite characters in order. You want to add more characters? That's fine. Give me your top 20. However you want to do it, just make sure you give us your opinion. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.